Well, Sunday night is never complete without Scorecard. The EPL took a backseat this weekend, and I mean, look, it just justifies for you why the Premier League is the biggest league in the world. It's almost like international weekend. It's like the other leagues don't even exist. But here, what we do is that we put the spotlight on what's important. We'll take you to the Spanish La Liga. We'll show you what's been happening. Bayern Munich have been in action in the German Bundesliga, but down here in Ghana, it was match week 1 in the Bet Power Ghana Premier League. Accra Hearts of Oak with a tough test to begin the season, going all the way to Dormaa to face Aduana Stars. That's never an easy task for them. Real Tamale United were in action. Mediama Sporting Club, they have David Duncan at the head of affairs these days. He also started life away from home. We'll be getting into all of that on the show. Let's take a quick break here. When we come back, I'll be introducing my guest, and then we'll get into what's next for Scorecard this evening. Stay with us. Welcome back to Scorecard here on Citi TV. My name is Benjamin Nketsia. My good friends are here. Coach Christopher Nimley and Daniel Koranteng. Coach, looking very crisp this evening. Charlie, mini anodumo.
Oh, I'm sad.
Oh, what's going on?
Oh, totality.
Coach, should we bring you some paper towels?
Oh, totality.
Daniel, please extend a hanky to Coach.
Oh, totality, baby.
Oh, Toto.
Oh, well, I'm going to say.
Oh, Alote.
Oh, Alote. Alote, Banda. Oh, Alote. Oh, 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 Toto. Oh, Alote. Alote, Banda. Oh, Alote. My job, you know, Charlie, I'm fine. You should stop that. What is that? The man has been fired, and he's my good friend.
I'm even crying here myself. I have tears in my eyes. I don't know what's going on here, man. Daniel, Charlie, no Premier League. How have you been coping?
Ghana Premier League. That one too.
You're maintaining with House of Oak.
I'm telling you.
Oh, Charlie.
It's difficult, but we'll stay.
Charlie. A lot to talk about. Let me start off with you. Hearts of Oak traveling to Dormaa. I don't know what you made of the fixture machine when it paired Hearts of Oak with Aduana Stars in match week 1, because that's always a tough test. Samuel Buedudo does not have the pleasure of having any respite, if I could put it that way, because he's already lost the league title, finished 6th. He needs to come stronger, and he's gone ahead and lost the first game in Dormaa. Some say that it's a ground Hearts of Oak loser, but I mean, when is that going to come to an end? It's not supposed to become a normal thing because it's Dormaa, so you go and lose and then you fold your hands. It's unacceptable. Hearts of Oak lost this game. They picked up a red card on top of it.
Look, very disappointing defeat. Although it's Dormaa, although they don't have a good record there, it doesn't. As you are saying, it's not an excuse to go there and lose. And the manner in which they lost was what was painful, because they had a very good first half. They created some very good opportunities, which they should have taken, but they didn't. And at the end of the day, 0 points from possible 3, and that is not the way you want to start the league. Yes, Dormaa is a difficult place to go to, but when you get to go there on the opening day of the season, I feel it's much better than later on in the season when Aduana have picked up some form, because Aduana had one of the worst records in the second half of last season leading up into this one. So they themselves are not in the best of forms. And then they come out in the opening day and then they go out and they beat you. That is hard to focus. Quite disappointing. But Samuel Boydu can also... he's not had the best of pre-seasons. You know, a chunk of his squad was involved in the Black Galaxies. It's only until a week before the start of the season, a week ago by this time, that he had the full element of his team to work with. So I'm not going to say it's going to take time, but if you look at how important some of the players are, like Moa Hassan, like Daniel Fiebani, like Gladson Awako, Suraj Sidi, all these guys involved in the Black Galaxies. This is a core of the Hearts of Oak.
That's a big name to be looking out for this season.
It's a core of the Hearts of Oak team, and to have all of them absent during pre-season could go against you. So you can understand that the gelling, it will take some time before they start getting used to Samuel Boydu's style again, shift their mindset from the Black Galaxies back into club football. It will take some time, but yes, by the way they played today's game, that performance, I think it at least warranted 1 point from it. It was very disappointing that they didn't take anything from that game.
Coach, I mean, Daniel has outlined the challenges Hearts of Oak face, but again, I'm saying that it's time that you went to Aduana and beat Aduana, because Aduana are not even the powerhouse they used to be. So why are they still maintaining their home dominance over you?
I think the fact of the matter is, Aduana's venue is a place that no other team wants to visit.
They have created a home nobody wants to come to.
Exactly. And for us folk to go
I
out
don't
there,
know why you're laughing.
for us folk to go out there and try and put an end to that,
Yeah.
then the coach should be given enough opportunity to work with his team. But at the end of the day, look, it comes down to how badly our game is being run. Because if I'm in charge of Hasselhoff,
Yeah.
at least this league, in my view, should have kicked off next week, not this week. If the people running our game clearly knew the importance of giving 5 players away
Yeah.
to the Black Galaxy.
Or at
If
least
the
they
league-
could have kicked off their campaign a week later.
Exactly. They could have kicked off their campaign because, per the rules of the game, they could have asked for their game to be
To be
postponed.
extended, yeah.
You understand? Because, look, Awaku, name them. Danny just did that.
Yep.
So, Coach Samuel Boedu has not trained with these boys. Psychologically, these guys are almost in the jubilant mood yet. They still haven't recovered from the achievement they chalked
Yeah.
from the Black Galaxy. And you take the 5 Hasselhoff players from the Black Galaxy without looking at, not overlooking the importance of the other players in that Black Galaxy team. The team wouldn't qualify to the chance.
Look, 3 of the back 4
Yeah.
are Hasselhoff.
Hasselhoff. So when did Samuel Boedu actually, because the fixtures has been out for close to a month now, when did he look at his team and say, look, this is the way I want to approach this? The coaches are different. Fitness-wise, they may be fit, but tactically,
Yeah.
they were very, very handicapped. And you could see in the game that was played today.
There you have it in your short
see, if-
highlights of that Hearts of Oak versus Aduana Stars game. Hearts of Oak sporting that lovely away kit there in commemoration of their 111th anniversary. Well, it was not celebration today, but there you have it there. Free Barnier in your shot, like Coach mentioned. A lot of the guys who have been competing at the Chan literally thrown back into the mix in a game like this. And if you know Dormaa is really far as well. So coupled with the long ride all the way to Dormaa to go and play, your players are sort of winded by the time they get there. I mean, there's very little time to recover, get any training in, settle down for a game. It's all very rough.
Especially, you see, if you know the importance of a goalkeeper
Yeah.
to the defensive organization of your team, you wouldn't joke with that, isn't it? And if you look at that goal, clearly the player who put the ball in the back of them was all alone by himself.
Brighton J.
Brighton J. He was all alone by him. Look at him. And nobody whatsoever. Why had the entire team sacked
that pitch is unacceptable. The pitch looks like it's hiding. The ball looks like it's hiding in the grass at certain moments.
Yeah,
I mean,
man.
come on. Look at this.
Look at that. The movement of the
Yeah,
ball
the,
set is
the-
very,
the-
very
the
poor.
pitch is horrible.
Completely
This
horrible.
pitch is horrible.
It may look green, but it's absolutely unplayable. You can't play on it. Look, yes, so take it or leave it. Hasselhoff will look at this game and say, come on, yes, it's a difficult ground to go to.
Yeah.
But if they had been given enough time to prepare as a unit, I think they would have given a better account of themselves. They played very well, though.
Yeah.
They played very well.
Very well. It's not good enough, though. 3 points down the drain. Great Olympics, they kicked off the season, actually, against Bechem United. Yao Preko is the one in charge of Great Olympics these days. He ensured that he started off his Great Olympics career, especially in the Ghana Premier League, with a bang. Remember that they had a very successful top 6 tournament. They brought that particular form into the Ghana Premier League. So let's see how that one broke down, and then I'll come back into the studio for some reaction from my guys.
Francis Aqua gets a decent cross in. Clinton brings the ball down. Oh, the shot is fine. Hits it. And that was a thunderbolt from Latif Dadzi with the ball. Sets up a pass to Accra Great Olympics, keeping the ball to themselves, and that's good enough. A strong run there from Nketsia. Sets up the pass, and that is the opening goal of the season.
Yeah. Emmanuel Nketsia off the bench to make an instant impact. What a huge impact. But question marks about if the eventual goal scorer Samuel Kwe was in an offside position. Only time will tell. But take absolutely nothing away from Emmanuel Akense. The one thing we've not seen in this game from Olympics, the best from midfield, the surge from midfield, the energy and drive from midfield, and that's what Akense just brought on. Look at him as he gets involved with the build-up, carries the ball all by himself, drives at the heart of that defense of Bechim, sends a cut back. And yeah, I think Samuel Kwe is good. There's no offside. But again, we'll see that again. It's interesting to see the position of the goalkeeper and the defender. If another angle can tell a better story, because if the goalkeeper then becomes the last man and the defender was in behind the goalkeeper, then that potentially could be an offside. But it would be interesting to see that again altogether. Now this is the interesting angle. Keep an eye on Samuel Kwe as the striker gets the touch of the ball. I think he's just about good. He's got two bodies in behind the goalkeeper, so he's just onside there. Good goal, 1-0. Olympics have scored the opening goal.
So Great Olympics starting the league off there with a bang. Coach, let me just come back to you on that one.
I really want us to go back and look at the goal again.
The goal again.
Was he
slightly
behind the goalkeeper?
I think it was really, really close. But you see, when we don't have the benefit of VAR to draw the lines for us, look at this again. So there you have it. I think he's trying his possible best to time his run.
It's a perfect goal.
It's just on.
Okay, so look, these two teams played in the top 6.
Yeah.
That game I watched. Olympics completely dominated and won by 2-0. So in this game, I knew Bechim would put up some form of resistance. In fact, they did. I think the goal came somewhere in the 80-something minute, 83rd, 84th minute. But it was a clear indication of how tight it was. For Yapreko, I think he's doing this very smart thing. What he's decided to do, he's not rocked the boat. When I say he's not rocked the boat, he's not sort of moved away from the Anawoka's way of doing it at Accra Great Olympics. Because you remember there was a moment or there was a period where Anawoka was not well, Yaprekun came in, he didn't rock the boat, he stuck to the chemistry of the team and got them to play very well. That's exactly what he's done. And that tells you of how smart a manager he is. And another thing that is worth mentioning is the fact that the players have also bought into his way of doing things. Tactically, they understand what everybody is supposed to do within the setup. And there are times where, when you see them play, look at the build-up to the goal. There was a simple 1-2 pass.
Fullback broke away, crossed the ball.
And look at the number they had in the box. It tells you that this is a coach that is working with his team. And for me, if and only if Accra Great Olympics will stay disciplined, I don't know what they are. At times, that is my biggest problem with them. They've never set a meaningful target for themselves. There are times they've got a good chance of going all the way to win the league.
But they always say go out there and do well targets.
No, come on.
Go and do well.
This is so huge.
They need to be going to Africa.
They need to be going to Africa. So look, I want to throw the challenge to them. You've got the Apreko in your fold, somebody who's got proper exposure. He's coached in Nigeria. So he brings some decent experience to your setup. What is the target? I think Yapreko is a very good friend of mine. I'll call him a friend. What exactly is the target? Because I look at your team, the youthful nature, the energy they are ready to bring.
They recruit very well.
Of course. Unknown players, but when they put them together, they look a formidable and a very solid team. What is the target? Is the target a top 4? Is the target the league? Is the target the FA Cup? I don't know. I don't remember the last time Accra Great Olympics was in Africa. Do you remember? I don't.
It's been a long time.
And we've gotten to the stage where if you're going to prevent the likes of Ashikwe from leaving, because you think that there's a clause in the contract that ensures that the boy remains, then try and think big, dream big, and give them the exposure they need on the African continent. Because Ashikwe, I'm very certain, if you were to stay in Ghana, I have no doubt whatsoever. If the form is good, he will be in Algeria. I think he's an integral member of the team, because at the time he was one. The next moment I'm leaving, the next moment I'm staying. So the coaches couldn't work with him. But look, he's got a very good team, and I think that if the target is right, there are certain things I cannot say here. I know of certain things that when I begin to disclose, the people in there say, how did he get to know? But I'm not going to say that. That's why I'm using the word that I want to find out what the target for the season is. Based on that, I'll come back subsequent weeks to come and judge them. But they looked very, very good yesterday.
Dana, just quick thoughts on the Olympics and the bit about finding a target for them. I mean, You can't have your big players going to House of Folk and Kotoko all the time.
Look, last season was good. I think last season, midway through, they found themselves in... No, that was 2 seasons ago. Yeah, midway through, they were on top of the league, and then they let it crumble. But what it means is that they know they can get there. They know they have a solid team good enough to get there. As to whether... And then we have to be fair, in full force, as to whether they can compete with the champions in Kumasi Asante Kotoko. That will be very difficult. But what coach is saying is very true. A meaningful top 4 is something that Olympics should be able to do. I don't believe in that. Go and do whatever comes. No, that is not good enough. I think in the past 2 seasons, they've built something that it looks like they are building something that is progressive. So we want to see something much better from them this season in terms of how they finish on the Ghana Premier League table, because the opportunities are there. If you look at when Maxwell Abekwe comes back, partnering with his brother again, that takes us back to the link-up that happened 2 seasons ago, the link-up that pushed them so close to the title, but due to an inexperience, they were found wanting. They should be finish much better and do much better than they did last season.
So Accra Great Olympics, we say we want to know exactly what your target is for the season. Let me just go through the scores from the other games. So Bibiani Gold Stars, they lost at home to James FC by 1-0. Karela FC also beat Tamale Cities by 1-0. You have that one in your shot there as well. You have Kotoku Royals, newly promoted Kotoku Royals, holding Accra Lions, beating Accra Lions actually by 1-0. So not a lot of goals on match day 1, a lot of 1-0s and goalless draws. RTU were at home and they were held by newly promoted Samatex, goalless. Arnold Walker is at the helm of affairs at Samatex. And then you also have in your shot there the Legon Cities versus Mediama game, which ended Mediama 1. Legon Cities nailed us a red card in that game as well, I believe. There's Brekum Chelsea versus Kim Faisal. I believe that game will happen tomorrow. Asante Kotoko versus Nswatraman has been postponed because Kotoko are expected to play RC Kadiogo in the CAF Champions League. So that's what's going on as far as the Ghana Premier League is concerned. Typically, we would have been doing an English Premier League. There's no Premier League because the league is on a break, but I'll still take advantage and talk about the Premier League before I get to the Spanish La Liga. I have a whole window of about 10 minutes or so. Coach, you know, a lot has been happening with your blue friends. The famous saying that we will build a team that nobody wants to play against. It seems like only yesterday when that famous saying was laid on the ground, and it seemed like such a scary thing because Chelsea looked scary. They looked very difficult to break down. Kai Havertz was the poster boy and the toast of everybody. Things have happened really fast. Werner is already scoring hat-tricks back in Germany with RB Leipzig. Kai Havertz is not scoring goals, and when he scores 1 goal in 20, he tells the fans to shut up and whatnot. A lot has gone down. Tuchel has been fired. Did you see a firing coming, or you thought that new players, new season, he could have found his feet?
Ben, look, to be honest with you, it's a bit confusing because the team had serious difficulties prior to the end of last season. We all knew of the Abramovich issue, the selling of the club. It got to a time Thomas Tuchel was credited for how well he's handled the situation. Once that thing died away, it became very clear that the team would be sold. There was prospective buyers. Then all of a sudden, the form started dipping. I think that Todd Bowley and his people should have gotten rid of Thomas Tuchel once they decided they were not going to work with Peter Cech. They were not going to work with
Marina.
I think they should have just added Thomas Tuchel there and get him to leave. They didn't do that. From the way they backed the manager in the transfer market. They supported his idea of getting Lukaku to go. They didn't stretch it. They told Inter Milan what they would need. Once Inter gave it to them, they said, Lukaku, you can go back to Inter for a season loan. Now, they asked Thomas Tuchel, what do you need? Every single player he's wanted, they've bought for him.
Exactly.
He requested for Kukurea, he requested for Koulibaly, he requested for Fofana, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. You can't mention
Zakaria.
Everything he's been given. So I would have thought that they would have waited a while, give him at least 5-6 games to look at how the Chelsea team will perform tactically under Thomas Tuchel
with his new players
before making a decision. It was very difficult for me to fathom why they will sack him after 6 games. Because this manager...
They said there were some primary disagreements.
Primary disagreement, is it for footballing reasons? Or he was being asked to accept certain things that tactically as a manager will go against his identity for what he stood for. You understand what I'm saying? A perfect example is the Cristiano Ronaldo thing.
Coach, but you see, what sort of identity do you have that cannot contain the greatest goal scorer of all time? Especially when your team is clearly struggling to score goals.
You see, the greatest goal scorer of all time at age 38, or soon to be 38, will not be there for more than 2 seasons. And if you look at the way Thomas Tuchel...
But Chelsea have always shown that they are a short-term team. They never think about what's happening 3 years down the line. It's always about winning in the season that they are currently in.
That is why I think that Thomas Tuchel had every support. When he told them I didn't want Cristiano Ronaldo, they didn't push it.
Yeah.
The owners had every right to tell him that whether you like it or not,
you take
Ronaldo.
Yeah.
But they listened. They bought into that idea. They don't understand the game. Why would they sack him after just 6 games?
Maybe they looked at it and said, but you said you didn't need Ronaldo.
He's on top of Liverpool. He's 5 points adrift of Arsenal.
Okay.
He's now gotten all his Arsenal that he's requested for. Top on the list, Aubameyang. He just played 59 minutes under the manager. Why would you sack him? You see, that is why don't mind them, okay? You see, that is why it is so important.
Yeah.
That for me, I really didn't see the football reason in sacking him. Now, what were the reasons that maybe made me think that? Maybe they were, that one they will not say, look, whether you like it or not, Todd Bowley and the consortium who bought Chelsea, we all know where they originate from, isn't it? Yeah. They're Americans. The captain of America, Pulisic, sits on the bench. And Thomas Tuchel has never seen him as one of his first choice players.
And there are actually rumors that Pulisic was one of those players who are falling out with Thomas Tuchel, and as a matter of fact
I'm an American man.
Destabilizing the dressing room.
The team is for American people. You have the guts and the balls to bench American captain,
and to be,
I will sack you quick.
And to be honest, I think for those who are watching us and don't see the gravity of what Coach saying, Christian Pulisic is absolutely massive in the US. States. Like, he is massive. Like, if you see Tom Brady sit here, LeBron sits here, they give Christian Pulisic a chair beside them
because he's the captain.
That's how big he is for the United States.
And they expect USA, you see, they are looking at Qatar and they think they are not going to be pushovers there. And of course, if you look at where all their players are now playing,
they have a lot of high-profile players now.
They will go to Qatar and will be a force to reckon with. I believe so.
Yeah.
So you cannot bench their captain and be giving him 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 5 minutes. When Todd Bowley calls you into the dressing room, into the office, do you know what you are doing?
He says, I don't discuss tactics with the owner.
Okay, it's my team. Come on, get out.
And that's exactly
what happened.
Yeah.
And for me, you see, I don't buy into that. Because if I was the owner, I would have told Pulisic that, look, work hard, keep working. Your time will come. Make sure. We've seen players giving 3 goals. The reason why they should be on the team sheet in the following game. Has Pulisic done that? No. And he's not done that for some time now. Agreed. So that aspect of the thing, I don't agree with. Another thing that I'm very certain got these people to sack Thomas Tuchel, it was the Lukaku's problem. Look, I sat in this same chair and I said, I just couldn't believe why Thomas Tuchel
did not try to make the Lukaku
situation work. Because if I'm an owner, because don't forget, Abramovich bought Lukaku, isn't it? But because Todd Bowley and co had paid the money, they've also bought Lukaku. They bought every asset.
Because you are inheriting the salary. Exactly. You have to pay his wages.
They have to pay his wages. as to why he got. Look, he told the whole world
He needed a number 9.
a number 9. Yeah. They gave him Haaland. The deal of Haaland, Chelsea. Who do you bring me Romelu Lukaku for close to £100 million?
Yep.
And you couldn't adjust. And he kept saying it. The player will have to adjust to the system. And I kept reminding him. I called him Totalote. Jane can coach.
You don't buy a player for
you don't
almost
buy a player for
100
million
and have no plan
and tell him
on
to come and adjust. You should have a clear-cut plan as to how he's going to fit in the system, and the system will get him to flourish. Look at what is happening at Man City. When Haaland was not there, they never crossed, unless it's a set piece, but from open play, Kevin De Bruyne
was always work the ball on the ground.
No work, cut back, and then somebody. But with Haaland, they are putting the ball. And look, you know Totalote. He is very, very stubborn. He's a very stubborn man.
Very stubborn.
He doesn't care. Those of us who are closer to him, at times when we begin to talk to him, he won't listen. Look, you get yourself sacked.
When you call him and you are talking, he won't listen.
Both way. You are both way. He won't listen. And I said, look, you have to be very, very careful. The American man, if he puts his money into something, he wants to have dividend.
Yeah,
Pulisic alone, Jesse. Look, Pulisic alone, Jesse, can pay, when sold in America, will pay the entire Chelsea team their salary.
I'm telling you.
And why would the people of, if I'm an American and you are benching my captain, why would I buy his jersey? He's not fit for me to buy his jersey. So Alote himself became so stubborn. So tactically, there were reasons why he had to be sacked. But again, if I was the boss, I would have given him the next 5 or 6 games to have
a
clearer picture of where the team was going. But they couldn't wait.
When we come back, I'll let Daniel talk to us about what Chelsea fans should expect from Graham Potter. Like they said, in 2007, I think, or so, the man was down here coaching. He was a technical advisor to Ghana's Black Queens. He's gone on to coach the University of Hull soccer team. He's like that guy. He's literally been through the mill properly as a manager, and this is his first big-time job. What can Chelsea fans expect? Stay with us here on Scorecard. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Scorecard here on Citi TV. We're just discussing the changeover of the guard at Chelsea. So Thomas Tuchel is gone. Graham Potter is in the seat now. Daniel, quick thoughts on that one before I read a few messages. I mean, new coach, not the biggest profile as manager, but he's been touted as the next big thing for a while.
When you do a deep analysis into his managerial career, if on the surface the record doesn't look too impressive. But when you do a deeper analysis, you can tell how impressive it is. Why? Because I was reading something somewhere. You know the Americans and how they like to analyze. They use data to analyze.
They are analytics crazy.
Very, very, very analytical. And when you look at Graham Potter's time, especially at Brighton. Even games they lose, you check their XG and things. You can tell they have a higher XG than the opposition team. So just an example. It just shows you that if they had quality players, they probably would have been finishing those chances and they wouldn't have lost. So games like that, it is not the coach's fault. It's because of the lack of quality. Tactically, he's very brilliant. He's shown it. He's won a lot of praise from some of the top guys. Klopp has spoken about him. Pep has spoken about him. And against the big teams also, especially last season, if you remember, he went to Emirates and won. He went to White Hart Lane and won. He beat United 4-0. He went to Anfield and drew 2-2. He gives the big boys a tough time because he's very good, brilliant tactically. But I'm afraid for this transfer because I always say this thing. Football management, especially at the top level, is not just about tactics. It's a whole different ball game. And the fact that Thomas Tuchel was losing games at Chelsea is not just down to tactics, because when it comes to the tactical aspect of his game, he's one of the top. Player management. Everything comes together.
And there are some big names in that Chelsea dressing room now.
Graham Potter hasn't met anybody close to what is at Chelsea.
Thiago Silva.
And even that aside, you see, I'm looking at some of the scenarios that could play out. Somebody like Aubameyang having to leave Barcelona, come to Chelsea because of Thomas Tuchel. Now he's gone. And is it Graham Potter who is going to be screaming at him?
And Aubameyang has the tendency to turn bad boy very quickly.
Very quickly. And you see, that is what Graham Potter will be contending against. But the good thing about him is that when you read the inside story, you can tell that Bowley said it in an interview that he wants to run Chelsea the way Liverpool is run. That's one manager, sustainable, long-term, sit with him, have faith in him, give him the money he wants for him to build a team. And if you look at Graham Potter, you can tell why they went for somebody in his profile. A young manager coming in, great ideas. He comes to Chelsea. I feel like Chelsea fans need to start bracing themselves.
Prove himself.
Yes, but they need to start bracing themselves. It's not going to go like this straight away. It might go down. And when it's going down, he's not going to get sacked. They are going to stay with him. They are going to stick with him.
Are you sure about this, though?
No, it's true.
I mean, isn't the firing of Tuchel an indicator of what Bowley is like?
No, you see, and that's another thing when you read the inside story. It gives you a sense of what the Chelsea owners were thinking. And they wanted to stay with Tuchel. But the interactions during pre-season is what dampened the relationship. Yeah. Initially, there was news about them sitting down when they came in after Cech and Marina were let go. Yeah. They came in with Tuchel. They decided that Chelsea needed a striker. Tuchel said he didn't need a striker, which influenced the decision to let Lukaku go. They had a chance to sign Gabriel Jesus. Because of Tuchel's decision, they skipped that. Yep. Then he came back after the FC Charlotte game to tell them that he needed a striker. Then they went for Ronaldo, and he said he didn't want Ronaldo. So all these things, and Tuchel also has his part, because if you also read the other side of it, Tuchel too wasn't happy about the fact that he needed to be discussing transfers directly with the owners. People who didn't necessarily understand football the way a sporting director, the way Marina or Cech will understand football. So you can tell. But the bottom line is that they want to run the team more sustainably. They don't want to do 1.5 years manager sack. No.
I mean, clearly from the investment they've made, you can tell that they have long-term plans.
Exactly. And they want that sustainability. So that is why Graham Potter is coming in. And I'm saying it, look, he's not managed a big team before. You might support Chelsea, we wish him all the best, but it's going to be extremely difficult because managing a group, and you see, the pressure at a big team is different from Brighton. Brighton can play good and lose, and Graham Potter will get the plaudits for playing good. Yeah. At Chelsea, if you play good and you lose, you've lost, and that is pressure. The next game, you have to win. Every single game, you have to win, and that is the pressure at the top that sometimes can get to managers. You look at the Arsenal situation. Yep. If Arsenal was run like the way Chelsea was run, nobody will see how well Arteta is doing now. True. He would have been gone long time ago, and nobody would have cared. And that is just the different cultures. And I think that is what Bowley wants to bring to Chelsea now. That have faith in the manager. If you have faith in his methods, give him the time for him to succeed, and he will. But I also have my problems with that style of running a football club, because there are not too many good examples. Not too many. Even Klopp, he spent 7 years. He's won 6 titles. On the surface, there's a lot of noise about it. But when you look at it into detail,
very long time to have won just one.
When you look at it into detail, should I tell you something? League. You know, Chelsea have won the equal amount of trophies that Liverpool have won during that period.
Exactly.
In terms of the World Club Championships,
and they are still firing managers.
And Chelsea is not deemed as a successful club during the last 7 years.
It just tells you the mentalities of the two teams.
Different mentalities, and for me, it's just how you look at things. But if Chelsea want to be as successful as they used to be, for me, that method is not the way to go. Because aside Pep, Ferguson was gone a long time ago. Aside Pep, I don't think we've seen anybody who can bring you guaranteed success every single season. I've not seen it.
Graham Potter, he's here to stay. Let me read a few of your messages and then we'll get into more football. So this one here is from Maxwell from Mankesim. He says, Coach and Danny should take defeat in good faith. They were the same people who were jubilating last week that Hearts will have a good season because their players are dominating in the Black Galaxies. And now they are saying the league should have started next week. This one here is In Between. He says his name is In Between from Ofankor Barrier. He says that I think the Hearts away kit is nice. They should make their jerseys available on the market. So Hearts of Folk Secretariat, please, at your mega store, please make the jerseys available. The fans want to buy. I would like to buy a House of Folk jersey, so make them available. Orlando from Juapon says that it's a new era for us, the Blues. Graham Potter all the way. Chelsea in our DNA. This one here is from Franklin from Pokwase Amanfrom. Says, I thought people were saying Hearts of Folk have 6 players in the Black Galaxy, so anytime they join the team, they will gel. come and prepare with the G6, then you bring Auroras. Now you see the results. Well, so people coming at you from all angles there. This one here, Ben, this one says, Ben, don't put it on the distance being far, the nature of the pitch. You and I have never seen good pitches in our Ghana. Our national stadia are consistently being used for political and other programs, making them look very bad. Okay. This one here says that good luck to my darling club, Asante Kotoko. We will overcome. K from Pantine with that one. This one here also says, coach should stop defending Hearts. Bad pitch, inadequate time to train, all lamentations. More messages. Moneygram from Omanjo says that Chelsea has the style of sacking managers ruthlessly. Even when Roman is not around, still, Bowley is continuing the job he ended. Once a Chelsea fan, always a Chelsea fan, you say. More messages, let's keep them coming. Let's move on to the Spanish La Liga. Cadiz were up against Barcelona. Barca haven't beaten Cadiz in a very, very long time, but it was a very resounding victory for them. Coach Nimley's favorite, Frankie de Jong, was at the heart of affairs for Barcelona in this one. Ousmane Dembele reminding everybody why he was literally one of the most talked about footballers a few years ago there. Barca liked work 4-0, but again, that game was paused for about 50 minutes or so. I thought Barcelona would have had a little mess, not score again because it was they went ahead to score 2 more, but first aid, extremely important at league centers. I mean, look at that situation.
The cardiac arrest that happened didn't happen to any of the players. So we must put that on record.
Yeah.
It was a supporter, a fan in the stand that suffered that cardiac arrest. But look at the attention given to that person. Everything stopped. Let's go and save the life. Because the game cannot be equated to one life.
Nope.
Never. If it was in Ghana, if you're a supporter and you go to the stadium and you die. In fact, with your 2 eyes open, you die. Nobody will stop and attend to you. Because even here, when there are times, maybe in recent times, we've not seen that happen. But I remember there were times where at our league centers, there were no ambulance.
No, I mean, Nathan makes a reference. I mean, at that Mediama game where the guy passed out and they are pouring ice water in eyes and like, Tiweni.
What Tiweni for what? Is that the first aid treatment? So you see, we should, you see, the reason why we are emphasizing on this is very simple. If you don't know how these things are done, and God willing, you're able to see somebody's situation, you can only copy and advise yourself.
Yeah.
Having said that, this Barcelona team is looking very, very scary.
I can't wait for the Clásico this season.
It will be sumptuous, delicious,
bombastic. Oh, Charlie.
Flabagaba.
Oh, Charlie.
Oh, Charlie. Look,
throw more spices.
I am telling you honestly because look, Dembele.
Yeah.
Was it you and I said we're having that conversation? Yeah. But for injury, I think he would have been. He would have been
one of the best players in the world.
I've never seen in the modern game. Can anybody pinpoint a player who is so ambidextrous with both feet?
Maybe Mbappe, maybe Benzema.
No, Mbappe doesn't use his left foot.
I mean, he can finish with his left, but I get where you're coming from.
Carry the ball.
Dembele can carry the ball with his left foot.
Yeah.
Carry the ball with his right.
I get what you mean.
Look,
I get what you mean.
Absolute class.
Yeah.
Top class. That is why I now see why Javi did everything
possible
to keep him. And look, I was of the view that if he were to leave Barcelona, that would have been the end of him. But I'm happy he stayed. Now Xavi here is building a kingdom. It's an empire. I think if they can stick together, if they don't rule Europe, maybe the likes of Bayern Munich currently is looking too strong. As for Real Madrid, when they meet Real Madrid in Spain, it's a different ball game, irrespective of form.
Yeah.
One person can come and show off and clear the other person with cheeky ease. But for Bayern Munich, I really want to see them against Bayern, against Man City.
Test your might against the best of the best.
Idea how good a team they are. Then you can begin to predict what they may do in the future. But look, they are looking very, very good. And like you rightly said,
I think we'll see that Bayern games. I think they're the same Champions League.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to that game. Like you rightly said, they hadn't beaten
Cadiz in a long time.
In a very long, I think 3 seasons ago, they just couldn't beat Cadiz. And for them to have gone away and show their proper class in this man, I think this La Liga title is going to go down to the wire. And it may come down to that game between the two of them.
Real Madrid,
that
Barcelona.
home and away game at the Camp Nou and at the Bernabeu. Whoever were to win that, I think will win the league.
Let me read a few messages. This one here is for Daniel. It says, Prince from La Paz. Great show as usual. Keep it up, guys. Please ask Daniel if he has ever considered taking up a coaching gig, even at youth soccer level, because I like his analysis and breakdowns. Please, what's up?
Onyakuma.
He's afraid that they'll chase him out of league center.
Boss, forget it won't happen.
Oh, sorry, no.
Maybe not in Ghana.
Not in Ghana.
Not in Ghana.
No.
Oh, why?
Oh, look at me.
Oh. Auroras would love you as the hell of affair.
Which rats?
Come on, man. Auroras will love you at the
For
hell of
him,
affair.
if the time comes, they are carrying him Olijo. Can you see? How do you know Olijo?
I mean, only Joe.
At the moment when you stop saying me, Olijo. Look,
Ignatius.
look. At our league journey,
Ignatius. They carry
look at Olijo.
No, that's just hilarious.
They will go and carry my brother. So he's too lightweight, but look.
No, he will be in the air.
So please, those of us in and around will not allow that to happen. Please.
Oh, mercy. Let me read a few more messages. This one here says that European football without the EPL is no football in Europe. I almost forgot about Scorecard because of the postponement of the Premier League. This one's from David from Takwa. Big ups to the people in Takwa. It says, enjoying the show. Proud Milanista. Coach has a talent with exaggeration. I don't know what you're talking about. Charles from Showman says, you are very good in your analysis, but when it comes to hearts of folk, you are not honest. All the players have been with the team for a while, and Buedu's style is something they know. So why this excuse? Is it because you are Hearts fans? Come again.
Let me correct that. You see, yes, they know the manager's style, but
they have new players even in the mix.
In preparing for an opponent, the manager's way of doing things may change, and you need time to practice and to rehearse that. I remember very well when we worked with the late Uncle Ben Kofi. He said, practice do not make you perfect. He said, practice brings about permanency. It's when the thing is that permanent in your DNA, that is where you can now seek perfection and you could become perfect. Yes, they may know the manager's style, but in preparing for a particular opposition,
everything is
need
different.
time to do a little bit of one or two things.
Let me read a few more messages. This one here says that, good evening, guys. Love the show. I think Todd Bowley should have given Thomas Tuchel time to build up his squad due to new signings he made. Todd Bowley sacking him was not a good idea. Greetings to coach. Ask him. I want to know where his team is, and I'm a goalkeeper. I want to be in the team. Somebody says he wants to catch balls.
He should come and see me at Citi next week, Saturday.
Thank you
when
very
he
much.
comes, say he's looking for Coach Chris.
Thank you
I hope
very
he's got a good height though, because
Ale.
their goalkeeper minimum height 6'2", 6'4". If not, don't come.
Charlie, they give you,
Don't come.
Don't come.
they say minimum 6'2". If you are 6'2", come around. This one here says,
6'2".
That's why he will never catch for me.
this one here is from George Entry from Teshi Malik. He says, our pitches in some mad venues are seriously poor and too poor to be shown on screens. Takes away the beauty of the game. This one here says, good evening. I always watch Scorecard because of Nimley. He makes my Sunday evening so special. Vigo from Nungwa Bank Road with that one. Let's go to Real Madrid Football Club. They were up against Mallorca. Real Madrid are having a time of their lives this season. They are enjoying themselves. They are enjoying the football. So Real Madrid winning comfortably there. No Karim Benzema, no trouble. Look at Rodrigo, absolutely having fun. And look at Valverde in that midfield. I know only one thing is going through your mind right now, Coach. Valverde.
Look, he's a monster.
Yeah. Liverpool will testify.
Look,
Van Dijk will test.
Van Dijk will testify.
he's an absolute package.
No, say that again for me.
He's an absolute package.
Oh, Charlie.
Valverde.
Package.
No more.
You mean the full package?
Full package.
Scored out with his
He's
left
a
foot.
proper
He
footballer.
literally ran the full length of the pitch, dribbling and finished with his weaker foot.
Yes. If Messi or Ronaldo were to be scored such a goal,
The whole
we'll
world
be
would
talking
have
about it
Yeah.
for years to come. That boy he's an all-round player.
Yeah.
Like we were discussing offset. He can play DM.
Yep.
Can play on the right.
Yep.
Can play box to box.
Yep.
I've seen him play even at right back.
He can even play as a second
when
striker.
Tactically, they had to adjust. He's the sort of look. He reminds me.
He can become a
of,
supporting striker when you need him.
He reminds me of Michael Essien.
Yeah.
He reminds me of Michael, and that is the type of player you need to have in your team. I think if you go and ask Carlo Ancelotti, he will tell you he's one of the untouchable in that setup. He's the sort of player who would take a lot away from this Real Madrid team if he was not in the team. Because he understands his role. He realizes the fact that there are old Duades in the team, like the likes of Luka Modric, Toni Kroos, and co. And he's learning off these guys and making himself a better player. And he understands the role. He understands what he has to do. Look at Vinicius Juniors and then what? Rodrigo. It's an absolutely brilliant. No wonder they are European champions. Agreed? And that is one thing that the people at the Catalan don't want to happen. So they are also trying to deal with the matter. But having said that, just before Daniel comes in, let me chip this. If you are an Otto Addo, if you are a Masawu Didi Dramani, George Boateng, Chris Hughton, you should be thinking about a way to stop Valverde. There has to be a holistic team effort or somebody ready to see him when he takes off on such a run. Because in that game against Uruguay, they know what we will offer on the day. They know that we've got something to settle with them. And knowing them too, they will be pumped. And if there is any player in that team,
they like being the villains.
If there is any player in that team who the head coach of Uruguay will want to psych and get ready for the Black Stars of Ghana is Valverde. You watch such videos and you tactically put your brains together and work on how to deal with him. Because if we were to allow him to play alongside the boy at Tottenham, Bentancur and Co, Numu Amagbawana, and we need to find a way to solve that problem.
Now, your quick thoughts there. You saw Rodrigo there stepping into the shoes of Benzema. Was supposed to be a big miss for Real Madrid, but it looks like business as usual.
Look, I think Real Madrid don't get enough credit for their
the youngsters
new style of recruitment.
And even how they are building
their new style.
Rebuilding
so they went for Rodrigo, they went for Vinicius Junior. You look at Camavinga, you look at Tchouaméni, you look at Valverde, who rose to the ranks. They've already cemented
even
this.
Ferland Mendy, they faced out Marcelo slowly.
Slowly. Look, Real Madrid is doing such a good job, and this team is ready to compete for the next 5-6 years with these guys because you see, it's not like they are learning. They are learning.
Honestly,
currently their level is
at the very top.
At the top. And they are still learning.
That's scary.
And you see, that is how it's done. I'll give you a typical example. Man United's mistake in when they were phasing out Vidic and Ferdinand, constantly getting injured, not having enough time to gel with Phil Jones and Smalling. Now they were gone. Jones and Smalling were thrown into a situation that they hadn't played alongside the experienced guys before. But with Real Madrid, look at how they started the progression of Vinicius Junior. People were frustrated. Oh, he's this. Oh, he's that. Now he's settled. Rodrigo, anytime he comes on, he gives you a reason why he should start. But no, he's not ready yet.
He's probably the reason why they won the Champions League the last time
because
around.
Benzema is there. So you will learn as much from Benzema as possible before he goes. Camavinga, people ask, he's so good. Why is he not starting?
There's with Kroos, Modric and Kroos.
Exactly. So you see, this is it's very systematic. They know exactly what they are doing with these young guys. And this team is scary because especially in the midfield. We're all talking about the greatness of Modric, Kroos and Casemiro. Now you have Tchouaméni, Camavinga and Valverde. And it looks like these guys, they are ready.
Eventually to come down.
And they're not even being given full like minutes as they deserve. They're just being gradually.
The three of them.
It looks like Tchouaméni will get most playing time because Casemiro is gone. But look, Real Madrid have done very good, and the people at the top must take the credit because it didn't start just now. It started like 5-6 years ago, and that is extremely. Even look at the signing of Casemiro. They signed him when he was a kid. Then they took him to Porto. Then they brought him back, and now he became so. Yes,
they always seem to have a plan for what they are doing.
Yeah, in as much as they spend money, they spend it very wisely, and most of the time, when Real Madrid blows money, you can see the fruits of their spending.
Well, let's take a break here on the show. When we come back, I'll read more of your messages. We'll talk about Atletico Madrid, and then we'll get into some other leagues as well. There's a lot more to digest here on Scorecard. Stay with us. Welcome back here to Scorecard on Citi TV. Let's now get into more Spanish La Liga action. Atletico Madrid, they were in action against Celta Vigo. They also won that game pretty comfortably. So Atletico Madrid winning comfortably over there. Gareth Joseph Edu was in that game.
That's why we have to be very, very ready. Look, the World Cup is not going to be easy. And for me, I'm happy.
I say not going to be easy is an understatement.
Yes.
If you look at the squads that Uruguay and Portugal have,
look, for Portugal,
surely on paper alone,
they are sport for choice. Rafael Leal, Bernardo Silva.
Portugal will leave out so many big names, so many people will be unhappy.
Take it from me. Portugal, as long as Fernando Santos is in charge, don't be afraid.
Fernando Santos won the Euro.
He's won the Euro Championship.
2016.
But he's won something with them.
Fernando Santos, 4-4-2.
He won the Euros with a day as a striker.
4-4-2. We know what you do.
Okay.
You see the likes. You see, they have a superstar squad, but you see the quality that will be on the bench. And you ask to whether he will bring on that quality. That is the problem.
Well, that's a matter for another time. Let's talk about Atletico and what they are doing. Also building a really strong squad. I get upset every time I watch them because this is how I expect a team with this level of offensive talent to play and to score 4, 3, 5 every time. But it's typically 1-0, 2-1, 1-0.
Me, I don't care. I don't care. No, you see, I don't care because I respect managers and their philosophies. Pep decides to play expansive football.
Okay.
So I'll judge Pep by his results. If he's playing expansive, he's supposed to win. Is he winning? Yes. If he's winning, fine. If this is what has worked for Diego Simeone, you see, the credit we don't give, he's become a victim of his own success. Nobody gave this guy a chance. He's won a league title with 2 league titles with Atletico Madrid, and it's not supposed to happen. Yeah. He's been to 2 Champions League finals. He's won 2 Europa League titles. These things are not supposed to happen per Atletico Madrid's pay.
He nearly won the Champions League by some heroics.
Nearly won. In fact, twice. Against the same team. One was on penalties, one was a kick away from. So you see, and that is all through that time. It is this style that has worked for him. So I don't think it will be fair to put pressure on him and say, play this way. No. That is somebody else's one. That is for Pep and these guys. Let them do their do. But I will judge him based on the results of his style. And his style is working for him. Yeah. So for me, look, the same way Klopp is still insisting on playing Gen pressing and now he's not getting results. We will talk.
We have to reinvent ourselves.
Exactly. But you can't say Klopp should start playing defensively. No. Yeah. So if Simeone is playing defensively and he's not getting the results, he needs to modify things, but not his style, not what he believes in, because that is what has gotten him where he is.
Let's get to Italy. The Serie A is also happening. Very good games played this weekend. Inter Milan not scoring a lot of goals. Remember, they lost in the Milan derby last weekend. They managed to bounce back. It wasn't pretty, but it was 3 points. Welcome back to Scorecard here on Citi TV. AC Milan doing the business there. The ever reliable Olivier Giroud. Getting the business done. Coach, just quick thoughts. AC Milan joined top of the table, going strong.
Look, I've always said that they will not let go of this title on the silver platter. They will fight for it because it is within their DNA to compete. It's rather unfortunate that it took them this long a time to compete. But once the likes of Paolo Maldini is at the back orchestrating the recruitment and making sure that the right type of players, they may not be the high profile, but they've got the proper attribute and mentality to walk into a Milan team and submit themselves to the philosophy of the team, and they are playing for the manager. And for me, Olivier Giroud is just the best sort of experienced player you need in that dressing room to galvanize these young boys onto bigger heights. And they are doing it in a certain way. It may not be pretty, but at the end of the day, it's very effective and efficient. So Milan, I think they will be in and among the big boys for the title. Because, look, Juve struggled this evening. I watched the game, and it was absolutely unacceptable. They virtually rescued the point with just 2 minutes to go against Salernitana at home. Wow. It's unacceptable.
Juventus struggling. Let me get to the Bundesliga real quick. Let's get to the Bundesliga. Let's check out Bayern Munich. They are struggling as well. Well, we're made to believe that because they were scoring 7-6 at the start of the season, all was good. Nope. They struggled against a lowly Stuttgart side. 2-2 is how that game ended. So Stuttgart spoiling Bayern Munich's party, Daniel.
I think Bayern intentionally do some of these things.
You know, they must make the league realistic.
Yeah.
A bit competitive, isn't it?
On the more serious
Stuttgart put up a good fight.
They did. In fact, before the penalty, Guirassy hit the post, and they were pushing for that equalizer. And rightly so, they got it. Because although Bayern played well, they were not at their ruthless best. Last week against Mönchengladbach, was it 2 weeks ago against Mönchengladbach? You could clearly say Bayern deserved to win that game. Unfortunately for them, Sommer was in the form of his life. But look, they will still win the league. It's Bayern Munich. They will, and you see, what you don't want to do is to anger them, because now I feel sorry for the next team they are going to face. Three draws in a row in the Bundesliga is not Bayern form, and RB Leipzig took advantage of that, and Bayern will certainly not want to remain in this sort of form. They will clearly and obviously bounce back, and it's just a matter of
Guess what? It's Union Berlin at the top of the Bundesliga. Union Berlin.
And they are just playing some Langard.
The elephants at the top of the tree.
Yes, Langard.
They will soon come down.
They will soon come down to earth.
Let's check out Borussia Dortmund. They always break my heart, some way, somehow. They were at it again this weekend against RB Leipzig, another team that's very much like Borussia Dortmund themselves. But this time, they were out there doing the business. 3-0 is how they thrashed Borussia Dortmund to win this one. There's a player in there, the Hungarian international, personal favorite of mine, Dominik Szoboszlai. Look, I'm sure this guy will be heading towards some of the big teams in Europe very soon. He was doing his thing. Very, very technically adept individual. Yeah, so you saw Szoboszlai there, 30 yards out. Daniel, that kid is one to look out for.
Yeah, incredible technique. He reminds me of Çalhanoğlu. And during his time in the Bundesliga, the sort of goals that he scores. Anytime when he picks up the ball and you give him space, when he lines up to shoot, goalkeeper needs to be prepared. But the third goal, just for Chelsea fans, it was a Timo Werner assist.
Timo Werner assist. How they will do with that?
Yeah.
They will accept that all day now. But now it's a problem. He's gone.
All day.
All day, all night.
But Coach, Dortmund though, I mean...
Look, you see, I really don't get
They break my heart as a team, honestly.
You see, it's better you don't put your heart into them, because at the end of the day...
And your money too.
And you got... Because you know what they will do. They are still relying on Matt Hummels and Cole as centre-backs.
Marco Reus.
You have to move on from these guys. They've done their part. They've served the club. But there comes a time where you have to let go of some of these players. And for me, they have couched an image for themselves. That tells everybody that we'll make sure we'll be in and among the party, but the true guys to get involved in the party may never be Borussia Dortmund. I think the last time they won the league was when Jurgen Klopp was around. Yeah. And that is too long a time.
Yeah.
Too long a time. Bayern Munich, they've won how many? 10 in a row?
Yeah, 10 or 11.
When is that
titles in a row? That's not a farmers. That's a gardeners league at this point. It's not a farmers league anymore.
It is.
Right now, the French league, the EPL is becoming a farmers league now. If we are not careful, we'll move into uncharted territory.
If Pep were to win this, then he would have
confirmed it as a farmers league. If he wins it again,
that would be his 7th title in 7 seasons.
In 7 titles, in
8 seasons.
7 and 8. Yeah.
Farmers league.
No, I don't think no, but no.
6.
I think 6 because Antonio Conte, Chelsea, and then Jurgen Klopp. Won his first.
So Pep Guardiola is doing his thing. Let's finish the day off with the Ghana boy who's been making headlines this whole week. He started it off last weekend against SC Cambuur. He came on for 4 minutes and scored. It was his first goal of the season. On Tuesday in the Champions League, it was against Rangers. He scored an absolute blinder of a goal. And then he was played this weekend as a striker, basically, in the Ajax game against Heerenveen. Mohamed Kudus, in your shot there, he scored twice to take his tally to 4 goals this season. So Kudus in red hot form for Ajax Football Club. He said he wanted to start games. The 2 games he started, he's ended up as man of the match. So that's what's going on. In your pictures there, you have Herenveen taking on Ajax. So I think that's Kenneth Taylor, the youngster in the mix there. Ajax have so much talent there. It's just crazy. Dusan Tadic, Steven Bergwijn joined them this season. I like those Ajax jerseys, the gold trims. Very sumptuous. Again, another dead ball routine there. Look at that. Dusan Tadic setting it up. Ajax finishing the ball there. Corner kick. Mohamed Kudus in the thick of affairs there. Yes, right place, right time. That's what you want to see if you are his head coach and you are Torado. Kudus literally played as a left winger in that Rangers game, played as a striker in this game. It doesn't matter to him really where he plays. Look at the positioning there. Perfect position. There to tap it in. Striker's finish or poacher's finish, if I can put it that way for him. Enjoying himself out there. Man of the match performance from Mohamed Kudus. There's a highlight of an assist he gave to one of his teammates in the box. It was a pass or some flick on of some sort. Absolutely disrespectful there. So Mohamed Kudus doing his thing. Brian Brobe coming on and getting in on the action. Very athletic players, fast.
Yeah, he's
well built. Good jump on him. Very strong chap there. In another universe, he could have been playing for Ghana's Black Stars, but that's another universe. Yeah, that's another universe. So Brian Brobe doing his thing. Coach, just quick thoughts there.
Yeah, I'm a happy man.
He's had a really good week.
I'm a happy man. At last, he's seen some proper football in action. We saw him in the Champions League where he was absolutely brilliant.
Yeah,
that is what I want to see. I've always maintained that if Partey were to come to the party, the next player I really want to see.
See what you did there.
Yes.
If Partey were to come to the party.
Exactly. And the other player I really want to see join in on the act is Mohamed Kudus for the Black Stars. I think that if these 2 guys can help the Black Stars in the middle, with the likes of Inaki Williams and Kamaldeen or whoever.
Kamaldeen scored this weekend as well.
Yeah, Kamaldeen, Bukari.
Joseph Peso scored this weekend as well.
Osman Bukari.
4 goals in 8 matches.
Osman Bukari.
Fatah Isahaku.
Oh, forget about that one.
Daniel was trying to.
When you do this thing, I react. Forget about that one.
He knows how you do your things, but he was trying to sneak in.
No, he can't. Forget about him. You see, so we should get, if our players are playing that well.
Yeah.
If you are the coach, all you need to think about is your tactics. Look at the opposition. What strategy can I map up to bring the best out of these boys so that the Black Stars go on and triumph? But for Kudus, I'm very confident. I know that by now he's sent a clear message. What is the name of that Ajax coach?
Alfred Schroeder.
He better learn and do the right thing.
No, he has come to his senses.
He has to. Because you can't be benching our player like that.
And it's clear Kudus is one of the best players in that team.
In that team. At least give him some chance.
You see, we say that Ajax win without Kudus. But Kudus comes in and starts 2 games and he finishes as man of the match in back-to-back games.
In the Champions League, he was part of the best team in the week.
Team of the week. Yep.
Brobe, when is he going to be team of the week? He will not even get there. His technique will not allow him. So be honest and do the right thing. And for me, I'm very, very happy that at least Kudus is playing. Now I'm waiting for Thomas Partey.
Yeah.
Any news on his injury?
Well, I don't have an update yet.
He'll come back before the international.
He'll come back before the very fit. If he's not fit, they shouldn't rush him. They should allow him to heal.
To come back fit.
Because those signs where nobody is kicking you, even when you are walking, thigh strain, jogging, hamstring, the next thing, the infection of Vigo, Kante and Co. We don't want that. He has to be very take care of himself very well.
I knew you were going there.
No, but you know, the man is working, thigh strain, he's jogging, hamstring. When he stamps, Vigo, Kante, Krodo, everything is sport. I beg you, we need him to be fit. Please, Koranteng, stop that.
It's how coach always tells Daniel to stop that.
When we are doing the program, then he stops. I don't know why he does that.
Daniel, you get the final word on this. Kudus doing Kudus things, really.
Yeah, and I think you made a very important point.
So you are crying.
And
This one thing you are crying.
No, but Ben, you made a very important point. Yes, the fact is that Ajax win without Kudus. They score goals without Kudus.
Yeah.
But what was a differentiation factor? The fact that he's played the last 2 games, he's finished as man of the match, cementing himself as the best player on the pitch when he's around.
Yep.
And I think that's how you merit your
It's
position.
very important. Yeah.
The system is flourishing, no doubt. But which players are flourishing the most in the system? And that is what Mohamed Kudus is doing with his performances. And I like the fact, you see, he's a very interesting player. His last season in Nordjylland, he played as a second striker. He's playing as a false 9 nowadays. He played deep under Ten Hag. So he has the ability to play and excel in multiple positions. And as you said, he's like similar to Valverde. He's a sort of player you need to have in your system because as and when you want to make tactical variations, you can easily
he will help you to make
push
your
him
variation.
around and switch him around, and he will perform there naturally without any problem. So I'm happy he's playing. I'm happy he's scoring, and I'm waiting for him to bang Liverpool this week because it's very important for me.
That is going to be a sweet game at Anfield.
We'll be looking forward to that one. Mohamed Kudus, Ajax versus Liverpool. Let me read a few messages to close it out. This one says, I think the sacking of Tuchel was not based on results. However, from the attitude of the players on the field of play, you could see there were issues happening in the dressing room. This one here says, this year's Clasico, only God knows. Fantastic analysis from you guys. Keep it up. Skills from Takwa in that one. And finally, I'll do this one to finish. This one says, nice outfit, Coach Nimley. Yeah, Charlie, if they should put the camera on Coach's outfits for me. It's a nice outfit from Coach Nimley. We, the Catalans, will beat Bayern on Tuesday, hands down. We are ruling the world again with the 3rd treble this year. Forza, Barca, you say up, Phobians also you say. So that's it from us here on the show. Thank you very much, Coach Christopher Nimley. Thank you, Daniel. It's been lovely hanging out with you guys. Thank you very much to the camera folks, the lights, the directors, everybody who made this show possible. Thank you guys out there for texting into the show. You make it what it is. Same time next week, you know where to find us.